Alaska, Icy Strait Point.
We took the advice of another YouTube video blogger and went to this little cute little donut shop that sells these little bitty teeny weeny donuts. Show us
Tiny donuts.
So pull it out and show it to them. And here in Icy Strait Point, Alaska. And so we bought us a dozen. All this stuff on the bag only mean one thing.
It's cruise time!
After almost 18 months away from cruising, we're finally going to get back on another cruise ship.
It took that long to learn how to pack.
Yeah, we have some new packing things. For the first time, we're trying packing cubes. Everything's so neatly packed. And vacuum bags. Because we're going to Alaska for the first time. We're taking a cruise to Alaska.
It's going to be cold.
So we're not used to cold weather cruising. We're used to Caribbean cruising. So this is a brand new experience for us. So we're trying to figure out what all to take and what all not to take. And it's hard when you live on the coast to not have a lot of cold weather stuff, and we don't. So we have all kinds of stuff packed up, ready for our cruise. We leave in 2 days, flying to Seattle to get on the Norwegian Encore. Yeah, looking forward to that brand new ship. Have not been on the Encore before. So.
Of all the cruises that we had canceled, the first one canceled, March of 20 was the Encore.
That was the cruise we were supposed to go on before COVID shut everything down. The ship, excuse me, that was the ship we're supposed to go on before COVID knocked everything out. We've been sitting on pins and needles for the last 18 months or so. Looking forward to it. Just wanted to show you a little bit of the prep as we get started.
Packing with cubes. Wonderful.
Packing with cubes.
Well, we are all packed up and ready to go, but hopefully we make it to the airport with bags that are able to get on the plane without having to pay extra.
Yeah.
Our little scale says it will, but...
You know, whenever we pack to go on a cruise, it's always weird because we have to catch to the weight limits of the airlines, and they only allow 50 pounds. And this time we had something even more confusing because we had to do, well, we decided to do some pre-COVID testing. We didn't have to, but we just decided to do it ourselves. What was that like? Did you?
Well, the cruise line kind of recommended that you go ahead and do a test before you go to the port because, you know, they'll help pay your quarantine if for some reason you tested positive at the port. So we did that, and of course we were both negative.
Yeah, we've already been vaccinated, so we had no doubt that we were negative, but I guess there's some doubt. But we decided to do the test ahead of time so we wouldn't fly all the way to Seattle, just get kicked off the boat in Seattle.
Not be able to get on the boat.
And so that was interesting and fun. But the flight was pretty uneventful. We had
perfect flights.
We changed planes in Chicago.
We used NCL for the flights, and the most perfect flights with the timing, everything perfect on those planes, even having to wear a mask. No problem whatsoever. I was amazed.
Yeah.
Because I had heard a lot that people say, oh, book your own flights, don't use theirs. Well, we did this time because they had a great deal, and hey, it worked out perfectly.
The only real problem we had was with the taxi ride on the way from from the airport to the hotel.
Oh, he was scary. He was very scary.
There's a picture of him here going 81 miles an hour on the interstate, but that was actually a slow period.
Yeah, he was almost hitting 90. I was scared. I was scared because they had some traffic in Seattle.
But we enjoyed Seattle. It was our first time to spend any time in Seattle. We ended up having dinner with our nephew who lives in Seattle. That was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
And we got ready to get on the boat the next day.
Well, we we didn't mention that we stayed at the Marriott waterfront.
Oh, yes. The hotel is right across the street from the pier. So
we walked.
We could actually pushed our luggage to the piers. And that's something that was,
that was amazing. That
saved
was
a lot of time and saved a lot of money to be able to take your luggage to the pier. So if you're going on an Alaskan cruise, let me suggest the, what was it?
Marriott Waterfront. Yes.
All right. So we're ready to get on the boat. The next day we have to get on the ship.
Yeah, we were scheduled for a 9:30 to 10 o'clock arrival.
Or the earliest one you could get.
Yeah, and so we checked our luggage. We walked across the street, we checked our luggage with them, and then they sent us on our happy way to the COVID testing.
Yeah, Norwegian's one of the ones that provides COVID testing to their passengers. You don't have to do it separately on your own, but everybody has to do it. You have to be vaccinated, you have to have clear the COVID testing. And we'd already done it before we left, but that was for our own peace of mind. Now we have to do it to get on the ship. So there's a little standing in line while you do your COVID testing. There's some video of that.
They give you a card with a number on it, and then they call you back. And
take you back and do that nasal swab.
Stick that thing up your nose. And it's not bad. It's not bad at all.
No, it didn't hurt at all.
Then you wait.
Yeah, there's some quick video of us waiting for our number to be called. It sounded like you're waiting for some kind of weird bingo.
Actually got a text. Keith didn't get
a text.
But they were announcing all the numbers on the screen, and you'll see that. And after that,
we both passed, got our little green wristband so we could get on the boat, and we're ready to actually get on the boat. We got to register first.
Green. Wasn't it a pink band?
Whatever it was. Pink, green, whatever. But we got on the we had to go register first before we got on the boat.
Yeah, we checked in.
The
first thing they did after the COVID testing, and they called your name and you were good and gave you your band, you went to was the medical questionnaire to make sure you were
once again sick. Are you sniffly? Or you have a fever?
All that kind of stuff.
You've been around anybody with a fever?
And then after that, they send you on your way to the check-in line.
Yeah.
And it didn't take long at all.
Because we were one of the first ones there.
Yeah.
So anyway, you got to check in, and we go to the waiting room and wait to actually board the boat. That was only like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 30. It was nothing, not really.
Yeah, in the waiting room.
The pictures show a pretty empty waiting room. By the time they called us back to start boarding the boat, it was packed.
It was packed.
And we were one of the very first ones to be able to get on the boat.
Yeah, we're platinum members, so we were able to be in front of the line to actually get on the ship. Of course, the Haven people go first, and then after the Haven, it's the Platinum and
Platinum Plus
and Ambassador. Yeah, that get on the ship. So we were real excited.
Yeah. So let's get on the boat.
Anticipation, yeah. The anticipation after 24 months.
Hopefully we'll be able to take these masks off in a second. Even though everybody's immunized and tested and scanned, they still want us to wear the mask till we actually get on the ship. And here we go. Stepping on for a while. Eventually we'll be stepping on board a cruise ship. Hi.
Hello.
Yay! We always have lunch in the dining room first instead of the buffet, because we're not much of a buffet people anymore. And I always like to sit down and be served when we're on a cruise ship. So we're in, is this taste or savor? One of the two. Looking out over the Can't really see it in the glare, but it's over the bay there. We haven't left yet. We've had our first little hiccup in the embarkation process, but we'll talk about that later. So right now we're just going to sit down and have a wonderful, wonderful lunch, and then start exploring the ship some more.
So after lunch, we decided to go look at the ship a little bit and walk around.
We do that normally.
Yeah.
I mean, when we go to cruises, we have lunch, sometimes in the dining room, usually now, but sometimes in a buffet or whatever, and then we just, because they won't let you in a room right away.
Right.
They're still
right.
cleaning
So
the rooms from the previous passengers.
Right.
So we have to kind of walk around and, have fun. So we just kind of tour the ships to get our bearings and figure out where everything is, because every ship's laid out a little bit differently. And sometimes it's hard to
Right. This was
figure out where you are.
this was the first ship for us that was canceled in March of 20. So we were very anxious to get on this ship. It's Norwegian's newest ship at this point, and
we weren't going to Alaska though the first time. We
were going to the Caribbean the first time on this ship. So it was exciting to be able to finally step foot on that ship and look at it and see the different things that we've heard about, and seeing different tours, video tours of the ship, and we were just ready to see it for ourselves. It was beautiful ship, and lots of pretty views of Seattle too from the ship. Seattle's
beautiful city. And we walk to the pool deck, and the funny thing is, usually when we go on cruises, the pool deck is the most crowded, jam-packed, and this was under...
Even on day of...
even on embarkation day. It's
yes.
just crowded with people, and this time there was almost nobody out there because it was a little chilly, and you don't really think about being on the pool deck when you're going to Alaska.
That's true. Plus the ship was sailing, at half capacity.
Yeah.
So, which actually is a good thing. So actually right now is the best time to be cruising.
Yeah. So Sandy got a chance to take a look at the Space Needle and look at the skyline of Seattle, and then we decided to go check out the observation lounge. This is a special thing on the Encore that we haven't found another ship before.
Right, it's on all their new ones.
Yeah, it was fascinating when on Seattle on an Alaska cruise to have that indoor observation lounge.
Right.
We ended up using it a good bit just to look at the scenery and look at the stuff around in Alaska. But this sort of gives you an introduction to the observation lounge.
Right. And the good
thing... It was on our floor.
Yeah, our cabin was on that floor. It was deck 15.
Made it easy to get to.
Yes, and they would have, in the morning, they would have breakfast items set up. Lunch, they would have lunch items set up. So there was always some type of snack food and drinks available. Of course, there's a bar. There's a bar
everywhere. Yeah. But after finally we walk around the ship, they finally say, "Hey, it's time to go to your room." So we hustled off and went off to visit our
room. Yeah.
Can you see that now?
All right, here we go. So far, so good. Got it. All right. No luggage yet, but I'm eagerly expecting yet. Here we are. Got our chocolate-covered strawberries.
Balcony stateroom.
Balcony stateroom. Here's our balcony.
That's nice.
Got He-Man the door. The Port of Seattle. There's much cargo ships, mountains, beautiful seas. Very pretty out here.
All right. The day we left, short day. Walked around the cabin some. I mean the ship.
We didn't mention the muster drill, but Maybe we should have.
because there wasn't a lot to it.
It was the easiest muster drill we've ever done.
Yeah.
30 cruises, because you just basically show up at your muster station and they
Check you off.
You scan your key card and they say bye,
Yeah,
basically.
you had to watch something.
Watch some video.
On the
We did
video
that before we
on
even
the-
left.
Yeah. So the next day, Sea Day, and an exciting thing about that was the meet and greet, the cruise critic meet and greet that we were a part of.
Yeah, we've done it a couple times, but this was interesting.
This one was different, yeah, because NCL went all out for this one.
Hors d'oeuvres.
It was in the district brew house.
Beer flights for
Yeah,
free.
they were giving out beer flights and all type walking around with hors d'oeuvres. And the exciting thing was, of course, the crew. We get to meet the crew. And
senior executives, not just anybody.
Yeah, and
Officers.
what was so interesting was the night before, our first night, we had cauliflower soup in the main dining room, and I love their soups. And I've had their cauliflower soup before, and I couldn't wait to see it again on the menu. First night, it was on the menu, cauliflower soup, and it was better than I remembered. So one of the members that we were meeting was Elena, who happened to be the restaurant manager.
Over all the restaurants.
And she
There's probably 40 restaurants. on a
when
cruise
she
ship.
came by, she said, now if there's anything I could do for you guys, y'all just let us know. And I said, well, there's one thing you can do for me. Please get that chef to bottle up some of that cauliflower soup and send it to me. She says, oh, so you like that cauliflower soup? I said, yes, I sure do. She says, well, you tell me, what's your room number? I gave her a cabin number. She says, will you give me a call when there's a good day that you're going to be back in the main dining room, and I'll have that cauliflower soup for you. I said, all right, I sure will. Thank you very much.
But personal service. You want to tell the rest of the story now, or you want to wait?
I'm going to leave y'all at the
Yeah, well, the rest of that story comes up in a couple of days. But for right now, Sandy sets up the restaurant manager with
we became best buds,
with a positive
put it that
thing.
way.
Because I think the restaurant manager probably gets nothing but complaints. I mean, she must hear from passengers all the time. There's too much salt. I don't like this. I don't like that. And finally, she got somebody who was actually complimenting their food, and then she probably just jumped on that. I don't know if she hears that very often. But
she was my best bud from then on out.
Yeah. So the rest of that story to come. So that pretty much finished up the first day at sea is just at sea. We're just touring around, investigating, eating, having fun, just kind of getting our sea legs, so to speak. But we're headed to Icy Strait Point, and that's the first stop on the agenda.
That's right, Alaska.
Here we go.
Well, our first footsteps on Alaskan ground was Icy Strait Point.
Yeah, I didn't even heard of Icy Strait Point. It's out in the middle of.
Yeah, it's a part of Hona, Alaska, close to Hona.
Part of the Tongass National Forest or
National Park. Yeah,
one of the biggest national parks in the world, but certainly in the United States.
Yeah.
And we were in it for a long time, pretty much the whole time we were in the interior passage.
Right. The Icy Strait Point it's a very pretty port. There wasn't a lot to do if you didn't have one of the few excursions that they had, but you could walk around, you could shop. You couldn't ride the tram to town.
They're supposed to have this big tram that takes
you to town.
Takes you to town, and just the sights of going up the mountain on the tram was the thing I was looking forward to.
Right.
Was a free tram ride from the port into town, and we couldn't even the tram was shut down.
Yeah, they didn't even have it running because nobody, unless you lived in town, you were not allowed to go in town because of COVID. They were in a bubble, and you had to wear your mask anytime you were walking around in Alaska or anywhere in Alaska. You had to wear your mask, and it was fine because it was cold. And that mask helped keep you warm.
Well, they shut that town down. I mean, you couldn't walk up there, you couldn't ride up there. They just shut the whole town down. So
right.
it was good. No, we went shopping. You'll see some video of us picking up a few knickknacks. It was very pretty, and of course the donuts.
Oh yes, the donuts.
We'll talk about the donuts here in a second. But somebody else said we try the donuts, so we found a little donut stand. And get teeny little donuts. You get a dozen for like $7 or something.
We
like that.
totally recommend if you go to Icy Strait Point, you have to have the donuts and hot chocolate.
Donuts and hot chocolate.
Very, very good.
But it was a fun stop. I appreciated us stopping there. It sort of set the stage for some bigger stops down the road. But
It was actually a stop that wasn't originally in our itinerary. We were supposed to go to Skagway, but that was canceled and changed around. Of course, COVID did all of this stuff, and so it took us to Icy Strait Point, and I wasn't disappointed that I didn't get to go to Skagway. I had just never been to Alaska, so Icy Strait
anything
Point
was better than what we had done.
that was perfect for me.
Yep.
So, but it was nice.
It was nice, but I think what we have down the road is so much.
Just more stuff.
More stuff.
Yeah,
than
more stuff.
Than Icy Strait Point could give us. But it was a nice first stop.
Yes, it was.
Go to Alaska, we got to get some Alaska gifts. So I wonder where we can find those. We're on.
Hot chocolate and donuts in Hona, Alaska, Icy Strait Point.
But we took the advice of another YouTube video blogger and went to this little cute little donut shop that sells these little bitty teeny wee donuts. Show us.
Tiny donuts.
So pull it out and show it to them. And here in Icy Strait Point, Alaska. And so we bought us a dozen. And we got.
Oh, the donut's good?
Yeah.
Oh, they're delicious.
What is this? Maple bacon?
No, this
is
is peach mango habanero.
Peach mango habanero.
Yes.
It's,
And then we have
it's
maple
got some kick
bacon.
to it.
Yes,
And maple bacon has kick to it.
Yes, big time kick.
So they suggested you go by the fire, sit up by the fire and eat it. We didn't go to the fire. We sat here in a nice little picnic bench in front of the crab house here at Icy Strait Point.
People will run when they get this
Got
powder.
kick to it. But anyway, we have some having donuts and cocoa here in
Icy Strait Point.
in Alaska.
In Alaska.
Yeah, first stop in Alaska.
If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel with the notification bell on so you won't miss any of our Alaskan adventures that are coming up soon.
Yeah, part 2 is coming up very soon.